What is up, y'all? Thank you so much for joining me for another video. If you are new here, my name is Jazz. If you are not new here, welcome back. I'm so happy you are joining me for another video. I'm coming back at you guys with some more tips for people who are trying to start their fitness journey, but for real this time. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it with my first tip of this video, and that is going to be to plan your workouts ahead of time. So for many people who are new to the gym anxiety is real. You're going to the gym, you may not know where to start, you're not sure how to use the equipment, you're still practicing your form. It can be really nerve-wracking to go to the gym alone when you don't know what to do. So what do you think happens? You're going into the gym, but you have all these anxious feelings, you don't know what to do, and then boom, guess what? There goes your consistency, because who wants to keep showing up to the gym when you don't know what to do? I've heard that story so many times, and that's completely understandable. It's really hard to create a habit out of something when it brings about so much anxiety. So something that really helps with that is making sure that you have your workout prepared ahead of time. Know what you're going to do before you even step foot in the gym. Now, ideally, you want to make sure that you have a structured, well planned out routine. And that means making sure that you are repeating the same workouts week in and week out. Making sure that you're progressively overloading, and that just means that you're making the workouts slowly harder over time. So you're increasing reps, or you're increasing weight, or you're increasing sets, or some combination of those variables. So if it makes you feel better, it's not necessarily that you have to have a brand new workout every time you go to the gym. You don't have to do the exact same workout every time, but you want to make sure that you're cycling through a set of workouts. Maybe you're cycling through 3, 4, maybe 5 different workouts, and you're repeating the same exercises. You're doing the same movement patterns. You're not trying to switch it up every single workout, and you're focusing on progressively overloading. So there is no such thing as muscle confusion. You don't have to do something brand new every time, and that actually is going to hinder your results. You have to repeat the same movements, the same workouts. And having that set of workouts is actually going to help you, because you're not even going to have to think about it. You're already going to have those workouts planned, ready to go. And then the only thing that you have to worry about is showing up and progressively overloading over time. Make sure you're creating a plan ahead of time, and then all you have to worry about is carrying out that plan. That is how you set yourself up for success. Let's go ahead and move on to tip number 2. We're going to continue talking about fitness. I touched on this a little bit in the previous video, but tip number 2 is going to simplify your workout routine. Reduce the number of days in the gym and reduce the number of exercises per session. A lot of times when people start their fitness journey, they think they have to be in the gym 5, 6, 7 days per week, and that is simply not the truth. You can get good results off of little as 2 days per week. And if you have to start out with 1 day per week, I would rather you start out with 1 than 0. But even when you get past the beginner stage, you can still get great results off 2, 3, 4 days per week in the gym. I've been doing this fitness thing for a long time, and I'm in the gym on average 3 to 4 times per week. You are not going to catch me in the gym 5, 6, 7 days per week. I'm a busy girl, I got stuff to do, and I cannot be in the gym every single day, 2 hours per day. I just don't have the time for it, and most of us don't have the time for that either. So don't get caught up on feeling that you have to be in the gym all the time. I have found that 3 to 4 days is the sweet spot. 2 days is good, and if 1 is where you need to start to be consistent, then that is completely fine as well. You just want to make sure that over time you are building up to twice, maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times per week. This is great for consistency. It's way better to go to the gym 3 times per week over the course of your life than try to force in 7 days per week but only be consistent at that for, say, 6 weeks. That is not what consistency means. We want consistency over the long term, not just for 6 weeks. That doesn't really do us any good. So reduce the number of days in the gym per week. That is going to be a game changer. Again, not only does it help with consistency, but rest and recovery are just as important as what we do in the gym. Do not skip over that. Take your rest days. And another tip, reduce the number of exercises per session. And this is something that I see so much. People really feel like you have to do 10 to 15 exercises in a session for it to be effective, and that is so far from the truth. For my clients, also for myself, I am scheduling anywhere from 4 to 6 exercises per session. Because if you are doing all these exercises per session, the quality of those exercises is not going to be good. You're going to be exhausting yourself trying to do all these exercises, but the quality of those exercises is going to be terrible. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. We want to make sure that we are having quality workouts. We are performing our exercises properly. And we want to make sure that we are pushing ourselves in our workout. So when you first start, yes, you 1000% want to focus on form. You want to make sure that you understand how to perform the exercise. So that is definitely going to be your first priority. But when you feel like you have that form down, then it's time to push that weight. It's time to push that intensity. You have to push your body. Again, I'm all about rest and recovery. You have to find that right balance of rest and recovery, but also pushing yourself in the gym, because that is how you get results. My next tip, we were going to talk about rest and recovery. And I touched a little bit on this before, but we want to make sure that we are properly resting and recovering. If you do not, you are going to burn yourself out. Now, you might be thinking, what does rest and recovery mean? Does it mean that I have to go do all these massages? Do I have to sit in the sauna all the time? Do I have to do the cold plunge? And these things are all well and good. If they make you feel good and you have the time, money to do these things, sure. But those things are not the most important when it comes to rest and recovery. The most important things when it comes to rest and recovery is going to be, like we already talked about, make sure that you're taking your rest days. Don't be trying to be in the gym 7 days a week. You want to make sure that you are getting enough sleep and good quality sleep. And this is something that a lot of people don't really think about. But what's going to be very important is that you are fueling your body properly and with enough calories. I know a lot of people have fat loss goals on their fitness journey, and that is going to mean that you need to be eating in a caloric deficit. But what happens with a lot of people is they get too deep into a caloric deficit. They're not fueling their body properly, and you cannot recover properly. Food is fuel to our bodies. So for our bodies to do all the processes that it has to do to keep our bodies alive and running, we need food to fuel those processes. When we train, when we work out, when we exercise, your body has to recover from that. And in order to properly recover from that, it needs fuel, so it needs food. And your body is not going to be able to properly recover. So if you're doing a bunch of workouts with a bunch of exercises, and on top of that, you're eating low calories, your body is going to feel exhausted all the time. You're not resting enough. And then on top of that, you're not giving it enough fuel to recover. So yes, you do need to be in a caloric deficit if you are looking for fat loss, but you do not want to be in too steep of a caloric deficit, because that is not good for your body. So you have to find that happy medium. You want a moderate caloric deficit, not an extreme caloric deficit. So remember, the most important things when it comes to rest and recovery is not going to be the sauna, getting massages. Those things are cool, but those things don't matter if you're not taking your rest days, getting enough sleep, getting enough food, water, all that good stuff. If the basics are not tended to, all the extra stuff is irrelevant. It's not going to help. It's not going to matter. My next tip is going to be to make sure that you are planning your meals ahead of time. Make sure that you know what you're going to be eating for the week ahead. Now, you don't necessarily have to meal prep every single meal that you're going to have for the week. For some people that helps, some people it doesn't. For me, I'm not necessarily a person that likes to meal prep everything that I eat for the week, but I do 100% plan what I eat for the week. So I know everything that I'm going to be eating for the most part for the week ahead. That means that when I go grocery shopping, I make a list. I know exactly the meals that I'm going to prepare and the ingredients that I'm going to need to do so. I'm going to be real with y'all. This is not something that I enjoy doing, but when it comes to fitness, and honestly, when it comes just to anything in life, it is going to take you doing things that you don't necessarily want to do. When it comes to habit change, you have to do things differently. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Even though going to the grocery store, planning my meals, making grocery lists, I don't like doing this. It is the worst part of my week, and I know that's dramatic, but I complain about it every single week. But I know if I don't, I'm going to fail for the week. My eating habits are going to be terrible. So I have to make sure that I'm prepared. Even though I don't like it, I do it, and it helps me stay on track. It helps me be consistent with my good eating habits. Again, you do not have to meal prep every single thing that you're going to eat for the week, but at least make sure that you have those ingredients ready to go in your house. It also helps. Eat leftovers. If you don't like leftovers, I'm sorry. Grow up, sis. I'm sorry to say that, but like if you are someone that struggles with food, you don't like to cook every day, you're gonna have to learn to eat leftovers, because that is something that helps so much. So for me, when I cook my dinner on Monday, I will typically eat on that for the next 2 to 3 days. Now, I am not somebody that will eat the same thing for a week straight. That's just not typically something that I like to do, but I for sure will eat the same meal for 2 to 3 days during the week. Usually I plan for 2 lunches and 2 dinners. Breakfast is a little different for me in the sense that I actually don't mind eating the same thing for breakfast every day. Now, to save money, what I will do is try to make sure that I can reuse some of the same ingredients. So say my protein for my dinners are going to be chicken. I might prepare that chicken differently, but I'll still use chicken. And this just saves me money because I'm not buying a whole bunch of different ingredients. So when it comes to your meals, if you want to be consistent, make sure that you are setting yourself up for success. Make your grocery list, go to the store, and be ready for the week. And for my final tip, if you have heard all this information and you're still like, I don't know if I can do it, hire someone to help you. So hire a qualified fitness coach, hire a qualified personal trainer to help you get started. Now, I 100% get it. Times is hard right now. Everything is expensive. So I completely understand that everybody may not be able to invest in a trainer. But if you are in a position to do so, working with a trainer is going to be a game changer if you find the right trainer. And I say this as a trainer. Everybody ain't qualified. Every trainer is not a good trainer, but if you find the one that is right for you, it is going to be a game changer. I have worked with so many people that say that hiring a trainer was the best thing they ever did because it gave them clarity. They learned so many things that they didn't know before, and it's built-in accountability. So if you pay for a trainer, are you really going to miss the gym? Are you really going to waste your money and miss your sessions? For most people, no. Investing and spending money and spending time keeps you accountable. You'll have someone to help guide you, support you, tell you what to do. For many people, this is the missing piece. And I say this as a trainer. Everyone doesn't need a trainer. There are many people that can do this for themselves. But if you're someone that just has struggled so much year after year after year, you're not able to figure it out, you're not able to make those changes for yourself, then it sounds like you may need someone to hold your hand, and that's okay. And it's not even like you have to have a trainer forever. Even if you invest 6 months of your life into a trainer, again, if you have the right one, that can make a world of difference. As a personal trainer, it is one of my main goals to set up people to be independent outside of me. This is not to say that I don't love my clients. This is not to say that I don't work long term with my clients, because I 1000% do. People usually do stay with me for 6 months or more. But if you are someone that is kind of tight on money, you really can't invest for a trainer for that length of time, do it temporarily. Let your trainer know that you really want to be independent with this fitness thing. Then they can set you up for success. They can teach you all the things you need to know to do this for yourself. At the end of the day, a trainer can't do it for you. Even if you do hire a trainer, you have to show up for yourself. I can hold your hand. I can give you all the tools. I can give you accountability. But at the very end of the day, we can't do it for you. So if you invest in a trainer, you have to make sure that you're going to do the work. I always like to say to my clients, this is a team. This is me and you. I'm here to help, but I cannot do it by myself. I can't want it more than you. So when you're going into looking for a personal trainer and you're thinking about investing in one, just think about that. And now, shameless plug, y'all know I'm a certified personal trainer. I'm an online fitness coach. So if you feel like you need some help, I'm your girl. So if you're interested and you want to talk to me about possibly working together, go ahead and go to the link in my description, and you can fill out an application to work with me. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Go ahead and like, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.